Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel, thank you. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Renegade Immortal based on novel. So let's start. Half a month later, Wang Lin arrived at an ancient transfer array. After he checked it out, he stood in the middle of it, took out a top-quality spirit stone and placed it on the array. But at that moment, a dark cloud suddenly appeared. The cloud gathered and formed the figure of the evil-looking youth. The youth stared at Wang Lin. Wang Lin's heart sank. The youth's speed was several times faster than what he originally thought. Wang Lin also wasn't able to determine this person's cultivation level with his divine sense. He felt an extreme sense of danger. If one relied solely on the top-quality spirit stone to start the array, then it would take 10 breaths of time to transfer them. However, in this crisis, Wang Lin desperately poured his spiritual energy into the transfer array to speed up the activation. In the end, in the same moment the evil-looking youth arrived, rings of light floated up from the transfer array, and Wang Lin's body disappeared. The evil-looking youth let out a roar. His hand formed a seal. The moment Wang Lin disappeared, he charged into the rings of light. After using an unknown technique, he caused the transfer array to activate again, and disappeared among the rings of light. Wang Lin felt a sense of extreme danger during the transfer process. He could clearly feel that a divine sense that was powerful beyond his imagination swept toward him like a tornado. Wang Lin felt terrified in his heart. Just as the divine sense swept toward him, his G-realm formed a never-seen-before thick red lightning bolt that charged toward the youth. The impact of the G-realm made the divine sense pause for a bit. At that moment, a light appeared in the other end and Wang Lin quickly charged toward it. After he came out, he violently coughed out several mouthfuls of blood. The nascent soul formed by his avatar shrunk, and seemed to be ready to collapse at any moment. But Wang Lin didn't pause as he quickly moved. He disappeared and reappeared 100 meters away. However, he didn't continue to run, but took out a red thread from his bag of holding. Wang Lin knew that no matter how hard he tries to escape, he won't be able to escape from that person's speed. Also, his nascent soul had taken too much damage. If he kept running, that person wouldn't even have to act. He would die from his nascent soul collapsing. This was the most powerful weapon he currently possessed. The moment he took out the divine retribution lightning, he also took out a bottle of pills and dumped them into his mouth. The evil-looking youth appeared 10 feet away from Wang Lin. As he stared at the thread in Wang Lin's hand, his expression became unsettled. The evil-looking young man was also feeling very frustrated. He never thought that he would meet the power of divine retribution here. If he was at full power, it would not a big deal. He would be confident that he could destroy this sliver of divine retribution. But right now he had only recovered 30% of his strength. He was merely an early-stage soul transformation level cultivator. As a result, although he could defend against the divine retribution, he would certainly be injured. If his cultivation falls below soul transformation, he won't be able to leave and will have to find another place to heal up again. All of this worrying was because the minimum cultivation level required to use the star disc was soul transformation. However, these are not the main reasons. The main reason was that inside the transfer array, he felt a power that made his skin crawl. This was a power he was very familiar with. The evil-looking young man let out a snort. He no longer looked at the divine retribution and looked toward Wang Lin. "Junior, hand over the bag of holding and I'll let this matter go," he said. "Is this what Senior wants?" Wang Lin's gaze was serious as he stared at the person and took out a bag of holding. The evil-looking young man's gaze quickly shifted to the bag and he said, "That is correct. Toss it over here." Wang Lin hesitated a bit. The youth was simply too fast. Even if he were to ask him to go far away, or to wait until he himself was far away, it would all be pointless. If this person really wanted to kill him, it would be very easy. After pondering for a bit, Wang Lin decisively threw out the bag of holding. The evil-looking young man caught the bag of holding. After scanning it with his divine sense, his expression softened. He looked at Wang Lin. His face showed no expression, neither anger nor happiness. Wang Lin stared at the young man. He placed the divine retribution lightning before him and said, "Senior, Junior has already returned the bag of holding, so I'll take my leave." With that, he carefully backed up. The evil-looking young man looked at Wang Lin. His eyes suddenly started glowing. Two beams of colorful light suddenly shot out from his eyes toward Wang Lin at an unimaginable speed. Wang Lin had remained cautious this whole time, so when he saw that the youth acted, his G-realm shot out without any hesitation and collided with the colorful light. Shortly after, Wang Lin coughed out a mouthful of blood as the red lightning formed by the G-realm collapsed under the colorful light. While Wang Lin retreated, he took out the restriction flag. The last restriction appeared in his hand and was about to land on the restriction flag. The evil-looking young man's expression changed greatly and he shouted, "Stop! Little friend, don't be rash." With that, he backed up and stared at the restriction flag with fear. He bitterly smiled. A sliver of divine retribution would only lower his cultivation level, not kill him. At most, it would force him to go into closed-door cultivation for a few thousand years. Wang Lin stared at the young man and said, "I have already returned the bag of holding and didn't touch it at all. Why did Senior go back on his word?" The evil-looking young man pondered for a while then asked, "Was the red lightning you just used the G-realm?" His tone was uncertain. Wang Lin's expression remained normal, but his heart was in turmoil as he silently stared at the young man. The evil-looking youth stared at Wang Lin and said, "I should be correct. What you used just now was the G-realm." Right now, the youth's feelings were very complicated. Wang Lin had brought him one surprise after another. At this almost waste of a planet, not only did this kid have a sliver of divine retribution and a magic treasure to call the divine retribution, but he also had the G-realm. It was this G-realm that caused his killing intent to completely disappear. The evil-looking young man took a deep breath and revealed a strange expression. Wang Lin's expression remained calm. After a moment of silence, he said, "If Senior doesn't have anything else then Junior will take his leave." With that, he carefully backed up. If the youth were to move at all, he would activate the divine retribution without any hesitation. The evil-looking young man hesitated for a while and asked, "Do you not want your G-realm to break through the bottleneck?" Wang Lin's body stopped moving and he stared at the youth. The evil-looking young man hesitated once more. He sighed and said, "Forget it. Kid, you better listen. The G-realm is a very extreme power. Breaking through the bottleneck is very difficult, but it's not impossible." Wang Lin's expression remained unimpressed as he silently looked at the person. The evil-looking young man revealed a look of appreciation, and his eyes suddenly lit up as colorful light slowly appeared. The light turned into a ball of light and floated in his hand. Wang Lin's caution reached its extreme as he stared at the colorful light. The evil-looking young man looked at the colorful light with a complex expression. After a long time, he sighed and said, "Check the light with your divine sense." Wang Lin pondered for a little before scanning the light with his divine sense. His expression immediately became strange. He paused then asked, "This is," inside the colorful light, he detected a sliver of G-realm. This discovery shook his heart. The evil-looking young man took a deep breath and slowly said, "You found it. This colorful light on my home planet is called the five-colored G-realm. This was originally not mine. It was gifted to me by a friend as he was dying." Wang Lin took a deep breath. His eyes trembled as he looked at the colorful light. Wang Lin considered himself very lucky that this person didn't pursue the matter about the bag of holding. Whether it was the restriction flag or the sliver of divine retribution, both were his ultimate weapons, especially the sliver of divine retribution. These were things that he didn't want to use if he didn't have to. He looked at where the hole disappeared and a powerful urge appeared in his heart. When he was young, he dreamed of flying in the sky, but now he wished to fly among the stars. He took a deep breath and turned around to leave. The cultivation country crystal of a rank 6 cultivation country was not something he could obtain at the moment. Whether what the evil-looking young man said was true or not, it was still a clue. If he ever reaches a cultivation level high enough to obtain it then he wouldn't mind trying it out. The only thing he needed to worry about now was how to reach the spirit-severing stage. Producing a spirit-severing cultivator is the requirement for a rank 3 cultivation country to reach rank 4. It is very difficult. It has to be said that on the entire planet, there are countless rank 3 cultivation countries, but less than 20 rank 4 cultivation countries. This data clearly displays the difficulty of reaching the spirit-severing stage. If he wants to reach the spirit-severing stage, the spiritual energy and environment of a rank 3 cultivation country isn't enough. Wang Lin's goal is to find a rank 4 cultivation country and reach the spirit-severing stage there. He took out the map. After looking at it for a while, he set his sights on the 5-sex union. This rank 4 cultivation country was the closest one to his current location. Half a month later, the border of the 5-sect union appeared before Wang Lin. At the border, there was a light screen blocking the path. This was the difference between a rank 3 and rank 4 cultivation country. This light blocked outsiders from entering. Wang Lin arrived before the light screen. After looking at it for a bit, he sent out a restriction. The restriction landed on the light screen and an opening appeared. Without a word, Wang Lin went inside. After Wang Lin entered the rank 4 country, he no longer flew, but walked like a mortal. He looked around at this foreign place and sighed. No cultivation method can help one break through from the nascent soul stage to the spirit-severing stage. Even pills are useless unless one can find rank 6 or higher pills. In order to reach the spirit-severing stage, one must study the heavens and gain their own Tao. That is the only way. Wang Lin didn't join any sect once he entered the rank 4 country, because he knew about this. After all, joining a sect won't help him much with reaching the spirit-severing stage anyway. If he wanted to join a sect and become its core member, it would take too much time. Time he didn't want to waste. From his 400 years of experience in cultivating, and his experience with other spirit-severing cultivators, he understood that an understanding of the heavens was very important for reaching the spirit-severing stage. Wang Lin had walked the path of blood for a long time, and all that killing had nothing to do with understanding the heavens. He had a feeling that if he were to continue down this path, he would never be able to reach the spirit-severing stage. In reality, Wang Lin's real cultivation level wasn't nascent soul. His main body's G realm prevented his main body from reaching the nascent soul stage. So it was only his avatar that reached the nascent soul stage. Walking on the road, Wang Lin's body gradually changed as his main body went inside and fell into a deep sleep while his avatar came out. Wang Lin had come to an understanding about his G realm, so he won't insist on trying to break through the bottleneck of his G realm. He will also no longer rely on the G realm so much. From now on, it will just be another magic treasure to him. His current magic treasures were too weak to damage spirit-severing cultivators. In order for this magic treasure to rise up in strength, he will need some very rare heavenly treasures, like a rank 6 cultivation country's cultivation planet crystal. After giving up on the G realm, Wang Lin decided to use his avatar to walk the path of a cultivator. If one day his avatar reaches the soul transformation stage, he might have a chance of obtaining the crystal. Then, once he refines it, he might have a chance to break through with his G realm. Wang Lin took a deep breath and took the G realm out of his consciousness. He understood that the most important thing for him to do was to gain an understanding of the heavens, but he had spent most of his life on the path of killing, and this path was incomplete. If he wanted to understand the heavens, then he must start from the beginning and become immortal. If one wants to turn into an immortal, one must turn into a mortal first. Before he knew it, Wang Lin's mentality changed and he gained a hint of understanding. However, that hint went by like lightning and Wang Lin wasn't able to capture it. He pondered for a while then smiled. His cultivation disappeared like melting snow. After a while, he looked no different than a mortal. Wang Lin's eyes revealed a strange light as he grabbed a willow leaf. He put it in his mouth to savor the green taste as he walked along the road. This rank 4 cultivation country was very large, several times larger than Zhao. There were a lot of cultivators and the amount of mortals had also reached an incredible number. While Wang Lin was walking, he saw people passing by. All of them were carrying some sort of baggage, unlike him, so he attracted a lot of attention. Wang Lin pondered for a little. He went to the side of the road and gathered some thin twigs and made a basket for himself. He then gathered various leaves and herbs to fill the basket. Wang Lin had only walked on the road for a few hours, and had already seen many martial artists from the mortal world pass by on horses. None of them paid any mind to Wang Lin. Every time horses passed by, they would kick up a cloud of dust, however, Wang Lin didn't mind. He dusted the dirt off his clothes and continued walking. But this time, he only walked a bit before a voice behind him shouted, "Make way." At the same time, a powerful wind came from behind him. Wang Lin quickly dodged to the side and saw a black horse, almost touching his body as it passed by. Shortly after, several more horses passed by. One of them was about to bump into Wang Lin when the rider suddenly pulled hard on the reins. The horse let out a loud noise. Its front legs rose up and it moved to the side. Only after taking a few more steps forward did the horse stop. The man riding the horse stared at Wang Lin. He picked up his whip and swung it toward Wang Lin's head while shouting, "Where did this blind person come from?" Do you not have eyes? Wang Lin frowned. However, just as the whip was coming, a middle-aged man came from the side, grabbed the whip, and shouted, Zhong-san, what are you doing? The man snorted. He put away the whip, shot Wang Lin a vicious stare and left. The middle-aged man didn't look the man as he turned toward Wang Lin and said, Sorry, little brother, for scaring you. I still have an important matter to attend to, so please forgive me. Wang Lin shook his head and said, No problem. With that, he dusted the dirt off his clothes. The middle-aged man revealed a surprised expression. From his point of view, Wang Lin was only a normal person with no signs of being a martial artist, but Wang Lin's courage was far above an ordinary person's. The middle-aged man carefully looked at Wang Lin. He smiled and said, I'm Lu Xing. This road only heads toward the capital. I wonder what little brother is heading toward the capital for. With that, he saw the basket on Wang Lin's back and asked with a strange expression, Is little brother a traveling doctor? Wang Lin didn't make any excuse and nodded. The middle-aged man smiled. He clasped his hands and jumped on his horse. Suddenly, the horse let out a cry, but instead of going forward, he went back. Wang Lin turned around and saw that 100 meters behind him, a carriage slowly moved forward. Half an hour later, the carriage slowly appeared behind Wang Lin. There were more than 100 people on horses guarding the carriage. All of their eyes were shining, their heads straight. It was clear that they were all expert martial artists. Lu Xing was on the side of the carriage. He was close to the carriage, talking to someone inside. This road was not wide, so after seeing the carriage, Wang Lin stood on the side of the road. As the carriage passed by him, 4 people on horses appeared in front of him to block him from the carriage. Lu Xing turned to look at Wang Lin and his eyes lit up. He moved his horse next to Wang Lin, then clasped his hands and said, Little brother, do you have any medication for the evil wind condition? Wang Lin knew that the other mistook him for a doctor. With his temper, he normally wouldn't bother with this, but he suddenly had some insight. In order to reach the spirit-severing stage, he must be able to understand the heavens. Maybe this was a chance to enter the mortal world. Thinking about it, Wang Lin asked, Is there someone sick? The middle-aged man hesitated for a bit and said, A servant girl is sick and we are still far from the city. The doctors around here tried giving her some medication, but none of them worked. Wang Lin glanced at the carriage and said, Let me see the patient. Lu Xing wryly smiled and said, Little brother, do you have medication that can help? If you don't have any, then there is no need to see the patient. Just at that moment, an old voice came from the carriage. It said, Lu Xing, this person has traveled a lot, so he might have a cure. Lu Xing quickly replied. He jumped down from the horse and said, I'm going to have to trouble you, little brother. Wang Lin followed Lu Xing to the carriage, and was about to go up when the old man inside coughed. Lu Xing quickly stopped Wang Lin and said, Little brother, just look from here. There is no need to go inside. Wang Lin frowned. Thanks to his divine sense, he already knew that there were 3 people inside the carriage. Aside from the old man, there were 2 beautiful ladies. It was very clear that they were a master and her servant. The person who was sick was not the servant, but the master. With his divine sense, Wang Lin could clearly see that the lady wasn't sick due to evil wind entering her body, but from some green gas inside her body. She had clearly been poisoned. Wang Lin said, Stick our hand out. The lady inside the carriage hesitated for a bit before extending her hand. Wang Lin held her hand for a bit before letting go and reaching into his basket. He took out a leaf and ran his spiritual energy through it once. He handed the leaf to Lu Xing and said, Have her eat it raw, and she will be cured by tomorrow. Lu Xing looked at the leaf in his hand with a strange expression. No matter how he looked at it, it was only the leaf of a willow tree. Lu Xing bitterly smiled as he thought that he was wrong about this young man. Clearly, this young man was not a doctor, but a madman. Otherwise, who would use willow leaves as medication? If this leaf really was medication, then anyone can grab a bunch from the side of the road. He was about to throw away the leaf when the curtain on the carriage suddenly lifted. An old man filled with wrinkles came out and grabbed the leaf. After looking at it for a long time, his expression changed as he said, 100-year-old willow leaf. He took a deep breath. His eyes were filled with disbelief as he looked at Wang Lin and respectfully asked, Is there any trick to using this leaf? Wang Lin faintly smiled and said, Eating it raw is fine. The old man quickly nodded. He made an expression toward Lu Xing and returned to the carriage. Lu Xing looked at Wang Lin with a strange expression. He couldn't help but wryly smile and said, Little brother, since you're going to the capital too, how about you travel with us? Wang Lin smiled and said, I need a horse. After Lu Xing heard this, he immediately said, Sun Laoer, hand over your horse. A 20-or-so-year-old youth bitterly smiled. He got off the horse and brought it over. After muttering a few words, he turned around and left. Wang Lin examined the horse. It looked very heroic, and its eyes were filled with intelligence. When Wang Lin rubbed the horse, its eyes narrowed as it let out a very comfortable expression. This startled Lu Xing. This was the first time he had seen a horse show an expression like this. Wang Lin's left hand pressed against the horse, and he easily jumped onto its back. Lu Xing quickly followed behind as he chatted with Wang Lin and kept looking back at the carriage. Wang Lin looked around at all of the mortals surrounding him as he rode. A feeling he hadn't felt in a long time appeared in his heart. At that moment, the spiritual energy in his body started to move on its own, and all of the surrounding spiritual energies seemed to be attracted to him. If there were any powerful cultivators around, they would be shocked, because there was a thick layer of red mist aura surrounding Wang Lin. This aura was very powerful, however, it was not leaking outward, but condensed around Wang Lin. Not to mention mortals, even most cultivators wouldn't be able to see this red mist aura. This was the murderous aura that Wang Lin had gained from his 400 years of killing. After being part of him for such a long time, it gradually changed into a hostility aura. Eventually, as he killed even more and underwent a change, it became an evil aura that would cause any cultivator's skin to crawl. When this evil aura can be used freely, it can be used like a powerful technique. Also, if a bit of it is used when refining a magic treasure, it would make the treasure much more powerful. The spring wind blew past Wang Lin, and he unconsciously took a deep breath. His eyes radiated an unnoticeable light. He could clearly feel that his spiritual energy was undergoing a change. Although this change was very small, it contained a very mysterious power. The evil aura around Wang Lin loosened a bit. A sliver of it entered his body and fused with his spiritual energy. Gradually, as the carriage slowly moved forward, more and more spiritual energy gathered around Wang Lin. Under the dense spiritual energy, all of the horses suddenly became very lively. Even those mortal martial artists' eyes lit up. They didn't know why, but there was something that was causing their bodies to feel warm and comfortable. After a long time, the spiritual energy in Wang Lin's body settled down, and the spiritual energy around the area dissipated. The martial artists' heads suddenly became clear, as they talked among themselves about what they had just experienced. As the group kept moving forward, night eventually fell. A circle of carriages was formed on the side of the road. Some of the servant girls came down from the carriages and started to prepare dinner. Some of them threw a few looks at Wang Lin and talked among themselves. It was not hard to understand why all of the female servants were looking at Wang Lin. Right now, he had an unspeakable charm. Although his looks were normal, he had a very special aura about him. Wang Lin sat leaning against a big tree as he looked at the slowly darkening sky. He was experiencing a kind of peace of mind that he had never experienced in the past 400 years. This was from the ancient gods' inheritance of memory. Back when Tu Sai wasn't able to travel among the stars, he often looked at the sky like this. This peace of mind caused the spiritual energy in Wang Lin's body to resurface again, but the current Wang Lin didn't pay attention to the spiritual energy, and for the first time, he noticed the red mist aura around him. The red substance slowly dissipated with his mind at peace. He knew that if he kept this up, then the red substance will disappear after several years. Wang Lin had noticed this red substance before, but this was the first time he'd seen it. He knew this was caused by his 400 years of killing. Although he knew that allowing this red substance to dissipate would help him enter the spirit-severing stage, he still felt that it was a bit of a waste. Wang Lin pondered for a while. After thinking about it, he started to make the red substance around him boil and slowly condense. However, after shrinking it to 1/10 of its original size, Wang Lin could no longer condense it any farther, no matter how hard they tried. Wang Lin took a deep breath. Just as he was about to try again, he raised his head and looked toward the female servants. He saw a servant girl wearing red walking toward him with smoked meat and wine. A wave of fragrance flowed toward Wang Lin as the girl came closer. She put down the meat and wine as she curiously looked at Wang Lin for a while and said, "Thank you." This girl was the servant girl that was sitting with the young lady in the carriage earlier. He picked up the wine, scanned it with his divine sense, then took a sip. A hot and spicy taste suddenly entered his body. In these 400 years, this was one of only a few times that Wang Lin had drank any wine. Back before he entered the path of cultivation, his father would only take out wine when his fourth uncle visited. Whenever that happened, Wang Lin would secretly drink a bit, then giggle toward his father and fourth uncle with a red face. With a hint of sadness, Wang Lin took another big gulp. The girl opened her mouth wanting to say something, but then someone called her. The girl responded. Her pretty eyes looked at Wang Lin before she turned around and left. Because Wang Lin was a cultivator, he didn't need to eat, so mortals' food held no attraction to him. That smoked meat was left where it was, but this wine reminded him of something, so he continued to drink until it was all gone. In the middle of the night, the martial artists set up fire pits. Bursts of laughter came from the men grouped around them. As Wang Lin listened to their laughter, he couldn't help but faintly smile. Some of the martial artists became very brave after drinking a bit and went to flirt with the servant girls for some private time. Seeing these mortals, Wang Lin unconsciously thought of Li Muwen. At that moment, Lu Xing arrived next to Wang Lin with 2 jugs of wine. After passing over a jug to Wang Lin, he sat down next to him and said, "Little brother, your medication was indeed effective. My lady is already better. Here, a toast to you." With that, he tilted the jug and filled his cup, but then he saw that Wang Lin didn't even use a cup and drank a large gulp directly from the jug. He let out a laugh. After drinking the wine in the cup, he copied Wang Lin and drank a large gulp from the jug. "Didn't you say that it was the servant girl who was sick? How come it is the young lady now?" Wang Lin faintly smiled as he looked at Lu Xing. Lu Xing's old face turned red. He felt very embarrassed as he slapped his leg and said, "Little brother, this is my fault. How about this, once we arrive at the capital city, if you have any problems, you can come to the Southern Heavens store to find me. As long as I am capable, I won't hesitate to help." Wang Lin let out a smile. He no longer talked. He only slowly savored the taste of the wine. Lu Xing looked at the empty jug on the ground, then looked at the almost empty jug in Wang Lin's hand. He smiled and said, "Little brother has very good tolerance for wine. It's lonely here. How about we go over to the fire and compete with my fellow brothers?" Wang Lin reflexively wanted to reject, but after pondering for a bit, he nodded. Wang Lin followed Lu Xing to the fire. There were a lot of martial artists there. They were all laughing as they talked about fun events they had encountered. Lu Xing went up and kicked the person who was talking and jokingly scolded, "Wang Laowu, I have heard you talk about Qing Fen Lao's little peach many times. I guess she served you well. When we get back, I'm going to check if you're just bragging." The person named Wang moved over to make 2 spots for Lu Xing and Wang Lin as he said, "Since you take care of business so fast, I'll cover the bill. I'll still have time to go after you." The moment that was said, everyone around started laughing and Lu Xing jokingly scolded a bit before sitting down with Wang Lin. Wang Lin casually looked at the mortals around him. He was feeling a lot of regret. Although these people's lives were short and just a breath from him was enough to kill them many times over, their happiness was something he didn't have. Tonight, Wang Lin drank a lot of wine. Although he didn't talk much, the others around him got familiar with him and laughed and drank with him. Later, some brave and bold servant girls joined them as well, including the servant girl who gave him food. However, she only sat next to Wang Lin. Her gleaming gaze often landed on him, but no one knew what she was thinking. It wasn't until midnight that everyone fell asleep from being drunk and the servant girls all returned to sleep in the carriages. Aside from few that were standing guard in the distance, everyone was asleep. The camp was completely silent, aside from a few popping sounds from the fire. This sound not only didn't disturb anyone's sleep, but helped them sleep even better. Wang Lin stood up and walked to a large tree before sitting down. Sitting while leaning against a tree, he felt waves of calmness. Earlier, only for a while, he forgot that he was a cultivator, and thought that he was a mortal like everyone else. He closed his eyes and checked his body. To his surprise, his cultivation level had broken through the early stage of nascent soul into the mid-stage. Although he was already at the peak of the early stage, and could break through at any time, he didn't think it would be this fast. However, the red substance around his body had dissipated a little. He had a feeling that if he just lets this red substance dissipate, he will regret it in the future. His divine sense entered the red substance once more to condense it. Wang Lin spent the night condensing the evil aura around him. The only sound at night, besides the crickets, was the snoring of some of the men. Gradually, the sun rose up in the sky and day replaced night. Wang Lin opened his eyes. He stared at the east and took a deep breath. 2 purple chi dragons, invisible to mortal eyes, entered his body. The 2 chi dragons cycled once through his body, then exited it. The cycle continued. Wang Lin felt like his body was very light. It was as if he could just walk directly into the sky. This kind of feeling was something that Wang Lin had never experienced in the past 400 years. It was very clear that only after reaching a certain relaxed state of mind could he feel this aura from the heavens. In one night's time, the red substance around Wang Lin once again shrunk to 1/10 of its previous size. Wang Lin was in no rush. He knew that condensing this red substance was not something he could rush. He believed that it was something that will take a long time. Early in the morning, the people woke up one by one and washed themselves. The old man walked out of the carriage and took a deep breath. He started to perform different types of movements. After just one glance, Wang Lin was very shocked. Although this person's movements didn't have any offensive power, every move would strengthen the body. When used together, their effects were even better. A while later, the old man stopped and let out a sigh. He hesitated for a bit, then walked toward Wang Lin. When he got near, he smiled and asked, "Little brother, did you rest well last night?" Wang Lin silently nodded. The old man hesitated for a bit before asking, "I wanted to ask where little brother got that 100-year-old willow leaf." With that, his eyes were filled with a pleading look. Wang Lin said, "I picked it up on the side of the road." The old man thought about it for a long time. He bitterly smiled and said, "Little brother, you were very lucky." He chatted with Wang Lin for a while. No matter how he tried, he couldn't get any information out of Wang Lin. The old man secretly sighed as he turned around and left. If we were to compare ages, Wang Lin was old enough to be the old man's ancestor. The old man's trick might work on someone new to the world, but it was nothing compared to what Wang Lin had been through. While following the group, Wang Lin gradually adjusted himself and eventually became part of the group. Several days passed, and within these days, that little servant girl would always come to talk to Wang Lin. However, she would always talk for a while, then her little face would become red. No one knew what she was thinking. Wang Lin couldn't help but bitterly smile when he saw the light in the girl's eyes. He had seen that light in Li Muwen's eyes many times, so he knew what was going on. However, Wang Lin knew that he was possibly too old to even be her ancestor, so there was always a strange feeling in his heart. On this day, the capital appeared before them. This rank 4 cultivation country's capital city was really gorgeous, but in Wang Lin's eyes, it was very plain with no color to it. If it wasn't for the swirl of spiritual energy, Wang Lin wouldn't even bother to look at it. Wang Lin spread out his divine sense and the entire city appeared in his mind. In the capital, there were a total of 9 swirls of spiritual energy. The things that were spreading out spiritual energy weren't cultivators, but towering, black pillars. The amount of spiritual energy released by the pillars depended on each pillar's size. There was one very large pillar, at the center, with the other 8 pillars surrounding it. These pillars were very large. Even the smallest would require at least 10 people holding hands to make a circle around it. As for the biggest one, it would take over 100 people. There were people cultivating inside each of the 9 pillars. There was also a formation outside the pillars that prevented any divine sense from checking inside, but this formation was completely useless against Wang Lin. He could see with one glance that all of the people sitting inside the pillars were cultivators. The most powerful was at the late stage of core formation, and the weakest was at the late stage of foundation establishment. Wang Lin was very interested in these strange buildings. As the group entered the city, Lu Xing noticed that Wang Lin was still staring at the 9 black pillars, so he whispered, "Brother Wang, don't keep staring at them. If you are noticed by someone, there will be trouble." Wang Lin rubbed the horse and asked, "Brother Lu, what are these black pillars?" Lu Xing revealed a look of envy and whispered, "Those are immortal pillars. This place is my country's capital, so it's protected by immortals, which is why there are immortal pillars. The king recruited the best craftsmen in the country to craft these 9 pillars as the immortals requested." Immortal pillars. Wang Lin's expression was strange. There are immortals living inside the immortal pillars. My father once personally saw immortals fly out of them. Lu Xing's voice was filled with pride. It was as if his father seeing an immortal was something that benefited him. If he knew that Wang Lin, whom he had spent the past 7 days with, was thousands of times stronger than the immortals that his ancestor saw, how would he feel? It has to be said that if the cultivator that his ancestor saw was present, that person would have to respectfully call Wang Lin Sr. Wang Lin withdrew his gaze. He smiled, but didn't speak. On a bridge between the northern and southern parts of the capital, Wang Lin said goodbye to Lu Xing's group. Although Lu Xing hadn't been together with Wang Lin for long, he was very fond of Wang Lin. He patted his chest and told Wang Lin that if he ever ran into any issues, he could go and find him for help. As for Lao Er, who had to give up his horse for Wang Lin, he had completely acknowledged him after drinking together so many times. Lu Xing also said that if someone bullied Wang Lin, he would personally get his boss to act. Finally, the old man walked out of the carriage. Behind him was a young lady with a white veil over her head. Next to her was the pretty servant girl. Seeing that Wang Lin was about to leave, the servant girl's eyes were filled with melancholy. The old man talked a bit with Wang Lin, and the lady with the veil over her head smiled. She didn't join in the conversation. After bowing, she turned around and left without a word. The servant girl exchanged a few words with the lady. She then took a little pouch and walked up to Wang Lin. She handed him the pouch and said, "Sister wants me to thank you. There are 10 pieces of gold here. This is the consultation fee." Wang Lin didn't refuse. It had been over 400 years since he had touched the mortal's currency. Wang Lin clasped his hands and turned around. It wasn't until Wang Lin was already far away that the servant girl sighed and returned to the carriage. The group passed over the bridge and entered the southern section of the city. Wang Lin pinched the 10 pieces of gold with his hand as he walked through the capital. This truly was the capital. There was an ocean of people and all sorts of vendors selling stuff on the streets. Shortly after, Wang Lin's eyes slightly lit up. In this capital of the mortal world, he saw many cultivators among the mortals. Although the highest level cultivators were only around the 12th or 14th layer of chi condensation, it was something that was very rare to see in other countries. After pondering for a while, he thought of the black pillars. He guessed that this was what one could call a speciality of a rank 4 cultivation country. Wang Lin walked casually through the streets until it was afternoon. It was clear that some of the shops weren't for mortals as they sold magic treasures for cultivators. There were restrictions outside of these shops that prevented mortals from entering. The mortals of the capital seemed to know of this as no mortals would walk into these shops. As Wang Lin passed through, he would walk into shops to check them out. Suddenly, as he walked out of a shop, there was shouting from one direction. He looked over and saw a messy old man being beaten up. The old man's wails were coming out non-stop. His voice was shrilling. At the same time, laughs resounded as mouthfuls of blood were coughed out by the old man. It seemed to follow a rhythm. Every time the man punched him, he would cough out a mouthful of blood. After the man punched the old man several times, he stood up and cursed, "Old thing, don't come to my shop again. I'll beat you up every time you come. You're already this age and still so foolish." After he finished speaking, he spat at the old man. A middle-aged man standing next to Wang Lin's side. "That old man gets beaten up every day, just to see the female servants change. Is it worth it?" Wang Lin was stunned. He looked at the old man before turning around to leave. But before he took more than a few steps, he turned around and saw the old man proudly walking toward Wang Lin as he wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth. Wang Lin dodged to the side and his eyes became cold. The old man walked past Wang Lin. He didn't stop, but then suddenly turned around. His face was filled with surprise as he carefully examined Wang Lin and said, "Little brother, I see that you are filled with talent and energy. You don't seem to be a mortal." Wang Lin frowned. With his divine sense, he could easily see that this old man was only a mortal without any cultivation. This old man's body also contained many wounds. It was clear that they were the result of constant beatings. Wang Lin didn't have any interest in this person, so he turned around and left. If this old man kept bothering him, Wang Lin wouldn't mind helping him go to hell. The old man revealed a look of pity as he shook his head and said, "If there is no way to give you pointers, then you might never reach the soul formation stage." Sigh. Wang Lin suddenly stopped. All of the pressure in his body suddenly released. He turned around and stared at the old man. "Who are you?" he asked. The old man didn't feel any discomfort toward Wang Lin's pressure. He placed both of his hands behind his back, looked into the sky, and with a voice filled with age said, "You don't need to know who I am. You just need to know that I can help you reach the soul formation stage." Wang Lin's eyes lit up. No matter how he looked at this old man, he was merely a mortal, but the old man was able to instantly tell what his cultivation level was. The only possibility was that this old man's cultivation level was far above the soul formation stage. So when the old man hid his cultivation, Wang Lin wasn't able to detect it. Wang Lin frowned and asked, "How can I reach the soul formation stage?" The old man looked at Wang Lin and said, "I'm already old. The moment I get hungry, I can't remember anything. I know a very good restaurant. Let's go there and talk while we eat." He licked his lips while his stomach growled of hunger. Fortune Restaurant was one of the most luxurious restaurants in the capital. The old man walked in with this head up and his chest puffed. It seemed it was beneath the old man to eat in the main hall. After he entered, he walked directly into the private room. When the server saw the old man, his expression became strange, but when he saw Wang Lin walking behind the old man, he quickly went out to serve them. Wang Lin frowned very hard. He felt like there was something going on here. The old man seemed to be very familiar with this restaurant. He ordered a bunch of dishes that Wang Lin had never heard of. The table was covered with food and the old man started to eat as if he hadn't eaten in days. Wang Lin didn't say a word as he drank wine. His gaze swept past the old man and became even colder. After the old man had eaten for a while, Wang Lin coldly said, "I'm listening." The old man grabbed a piece of pork shoulder and took a big bite as he said, "This. Wait until I finish eating this piece." After that, the old man ate the entire pork shoulder in a few bites. He let out a burp as he rubbed his hand on his body and said, "The soul formation stage requests one to comprehend the heavens, but I believe you already understand that. In addition to this, you must form a domain. Do you know what a domain is? Little guy, once you comprehend what a domain is, you aren't far from the soul formation stage. As for the domain, once I use the restroom, we will talk more." The old man suddenly touched his stomach and stood up with a bitter face. He seemed to be afraid that Wang Lin wouldn't let him go, so he let out a loud fart. An awful smell filled the room. The old man let out an embarrassed smile and quickly left. This video will end here. Thank you for watching.